What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Daily Tactics here, and today we have a very exciting video. 1 million Roman soldiers are laying siege to the Great Pyramids. The Great Pyramids only have 800,000 soldiers defending. And while that does seem like a lot for defenders who always have defenders' advantage, they're defending using Persian soldiers, who are some of the weakest soldiers actually in Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator. So these guys are not very strong. However, they also have archers backing them up from behind and some catapults over here defending the archers as well. So, despite the fact that many of the defenders are very weak and they're outnumbered by the Romans, they do have some seriously strong weapons to stop the Romans. The Romans have 3 main attack areas: the far right and the far left, that are composed of archers, Persians, and catapults. And then the middle, which is composed of a solid layer of Persians followed by a solid layer of archers. And then further back through the middle is more archers that are flanked by more Persian soldiers protecting them from the sides. Further back from there, we have the city blocks, which is filled to the brim with Persian warriors, as well as a center made up of more archers. So, in the event that the Romans manage to get through the front lines, the back lines have a solid defense of both missile units and Persian warriors to stall out the missile units' defense. If you guys enjoy this video, please be sure to hit the like button. It helps me out a ton on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to reach 500k by the end of 2022. And comment down below if you'd like to see some more crazy Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 battles in the future like this. I got a lot of recommendations to do more story-based battles and more battles that had smaller units in different places versus 2 armies just kind of smashing together. And I thought this would be a decent place to start. Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 is always fun to have just crazy numbers on the battlefields, and that's what we're doing here, but it's also fun to see what kind of tactics for defense and offense will actually work in the long run. Either way, we are about to have the Roman shield wall crash into the Persian army right here, and here we go. They are going to start stabbing into each other right here. Doesn't look like the archers nor the catapults are close enough just yet to the Romans to actually fire out. So the advantage will go to the Romans for at least the first part of this battle here, and more Romans are coming in and adding their weight to the dog pile against the Persian forces. Right now, the Persians have killed 500 Romans, and the Romans have killed 11,000 Persians. So you can see right there just how much stronger the Roman soldiers are than the Persian soldiers. But like I said previously, that could soon change for the worse for the Romans when they come into contact with those catapults and archers. Over towards the middle, it actually looks like there's very few Romans coming in here, probably because of this large rock mass, which forces them to go around, so maybe they're just a little bit delayed towards the middle, or more forces decide to go up to the left and right instead. I'm not totally sure. But we do have some Romans working on the soldiers that are like right up against this pyramid right here. And then of course on the far left, which we haven't checked out yet, the Romans are also going up against these Persian soldiers. And again, over here, it does seem like the archers and catapults over this way are not in range of the Romans to start firing yet. So right now, the Romans do have 50,000 kills, and the Persians only have 5,000. But there we go. The first of the archer fire is starting to hit against the Romans. Now you'll notice a lot of that is bouncing off harmlessly from the Roman shields. But at the front line, that should not be as present because they're going to be stabbing and their shields won't necessarily be up as the archers are firing. And at the very end of the defense over this way, where we have archers on the flanks of the Romans, their shields will be facing the wrong way for that. So the archers will be effective in this battle to a degree, and it also just adds a little bit more oomph to the Persian lines here. Catapults still not firing yet, but I imagine the catapults will be super devastating against the Roman soldiers. Alright, we have the first of the catapults firing out right now. It seems like just like a few of them are starting to fire. There we go. Now we're getting more volleys going on in here and clashing against the Roman lines. At the start of the catapults firing, we have 124,000 dead Persians and only 16,000 dead Romans. So we'll see just how effective the catapults end up being against the Romans, and if the catapults can end up making a comeback from this massive deficit, because the defenders are doing horribly right now against the attackers. Just terrible. The Romans are so much more well equipped than the Persians, but here we go. Lots of Romans getting tossed into the air now by these catapults, leaving large gaps in their lines, but there's many soldiers behind them ready to come and take up those lines and help out. So that is definitely good to see. And the catapults on this side should also be firing right about now, I'd imagine. And it looks like, no, these ones are actually still silent, which is kind of weird, considering the lines are about the same size, but oh well, I guess they're just not quite close enough. But we do have archers over here firing away right now, which is good to see. And down middle, let's check in on these blokes over here. It looks like the Romans have pushed through the gates completely already and are still working their way through the Persians over here, and archers behind seem to be firing futilely. They're not having much success firing at these Romans over here. So we'll see how the catapults end up doing in the grand scheme of things. Why don't we go ahead and do our first time lapse of the battle, like right about here, and watch these Romans come in and attack the Persians. Alright, so after some time here, it looks as though the Persians are making almost a slight comeback. I mean, look at this. All of these Romans over here near the catapults have been wiped out, but out of the catapults' reach over here, these Romans are still doing fantastic against the Persians and the archers over here. The Persians right now are looking at 350,000 total kills against the Romans. Meanwhile, the Romans have killed 400,000 Persians, leaving only half of the Persian force left and 2/3 of the Roman force left. So, things are certainly interesting. I don't know how it looks for either side in particular right now. You know, I feel like either side could still potentially win. Over here, we have the Romans who have burst out of the pyramid's opening and are starting to fight against archers in the open over here, and many of them are getting taken down, but they take a couple archers with them as they go. So, this area over here will be very interesting to see if the Romans manage to complete a flank. There's, of course, all these Persians over here waiting to defend against the Roman flank as well. Over this way, it appears like the same thing has happened as the parallel zone over there, where many of the Romans in front of the catapults are dead over here, but then areas out of reach of the catapults, like over here, are doing quite well in the war right now. There's a lot of war to go through here, you know, a lot more time to be spent on the battlefield, and I'm not entirely sure who's going to win this thing. It's a really tight race. Both sides have their strengths here, and both sides are losing forces at pretty bad rates in particular sectors of the battlefield. So I'm very curious to see what you guys think in the comments section as of right now as to who you think is going to manage to pull away with the Dubski here. Is it the Persians or is it the Romans? I'm glad this battle ended up being, you know, fairly interesting in terms of the numbers that we've got here, because if it had just been, you know, sort of the Romans stampede through the buildings, stampede through the armies, that's kind of boring. But if the Persians just hold the Romans and no Roman is ever able to get through, that's also pretty boring. It's way cooler when certain parts of the battlefield are winning, certain parts are losing, and there's risk for both armies involved. At least that's what I think is the most interesting to see. Of course, sometimes war just is not fair, and one side is dominating the other side no matter what they do. But I think for our purposes, this can be pretty interesting to see. Sometimes it is fun to just see a complete and utter shutout, but this is definitely a certainly interesting battle to see. Alright gamers, so both sides almost have equal losses right now. The Persians have lost 547,000 and the Romans have lost 509,000. So they're only 50k away from each other. Sorry, 40k away from each other. The Romans right now are making a mad dash to these catapults, chopping through archers over here. If they couldn't hit them from the front, they're going to try and hit them from the side. And if they can start cutting through these catapults, they might just be able to win this thing. And already you can see some of the archer shots are rebounding back from their shields and hitting the catapults, causing them to become bloody and damaged, which is kind of interesting to see. Down middle over this way, we have Romans flanking these Persians from over here, and Romans coming in from the middle over there to attack as well. And they've killed most of the archers, although there are still some archers over here that are firing at Romans directly in front of them, as well as into the sides of these Romans here, which should be very, very effective archer shots. And then, of course, on this side, we're basically having a parallel situation over here to the fight over that way, with Romans trying to hit the catapults from the sides. And they're actually doing pretty well over here in getting to the catapults. So we'll see if the catapults still manage to pull in those numbers that they were previously and stop this Roman tide coming forward, or if the Romans will crush them and then just move on to the center like nothing happened. The Romans are still holding on to their lead in kills right now, and I think that's because they're really bearing down on the middle here. It's just slaughtering a lot of Persians and archers, basically uncontested over here. They're just dominating them from all sides, surrounding them, and destroying them currently. Meanwhile, up against the trebuchets over here, or sorry, they're not trebuchets, catapults, many Romans are still dying. They are struggling over here, but they're getting to them and they are chopping them down, which is good to see. They are running a pretty nasty flank from up in these hills over here, which is pretty cool to see, actually. So they're hitting these catapults from both sides as well, which is fun, but of course these catapults are still managing to get a lot of kills on these boys very, very quickly. So these Romans need to step it up just a smidge to get those kills that they desperately, desperately need. Up on this side, it appears as though there are still Romans trickling in here to fight, and they're coming around the back somewhat over here. Are they from this side too? Not so much. It seems like this side of the battlefield is not going as well for these Romans over here. So, as it stands right now, there are still 190,000 Romans left alive and 117,000 Persians, archers, and catapults left alive. Things are looking a little bit more bleak, I would definitely say, for the Romans right now. Why don't we go ahead and do a time lapse, maybe not over here, but maybe over that way, because it seems like there's more Romans over here of their fight against the catapults, which could be kind of neat. For the first time in this battle, the Persians are about to pass the Romans in numbers of kills. Right now, the Romans have 713,000 kills, and the Persians have 711,000 kills. They're slowly creeping up to the Romans right now, and the Romans are kind of running out of soldiers to throw at these catapults. I think the catapults are honestly just a little too powerful for them to manage to get a foothold and stop them. Down middle, I think these Romans will manage to clear out the full length of the town, probably. They still have a ton of troopers over here. But that being said, after that town, they're going to have to charge these catapults from a distance to actually kill them. So I think the town might fall, but the Romans on the outskirts here are going to fall before the town does. And then they're going to be in some trouble. So I guess time will tell what ends up happening. The Romans have now completely surrounded the town over here, in fact, and are now breaching in towards the middle where the archers are holding out currently. So definitely the town in the middle here is going to fall, and the Romans will manage to capture it. But then it's still going to be up to the trebuchets. So once they capture this town, which should really only be a matter of minutes here, then we will move on to watch the trebuchets basically butcher a bunch of Romans. We'll see if the Romans can do anything about it. And there we go. Actually, just then, the Persians outpaced the Romans in terms of numbers of kills, which is crazy. And my dog is squeaking a squeaky toy right now in the background. He's so cute. Over here, these Romans might actually be able to accomplish something against these trebuchets. They've got a solid trickle in here, and they're killing a lot of them. It's those trebuchets over there I'm worried about. This is coming down to the wire here, people. The wire. Alright, so the city here has been taken. The only problem is there's still archers on top of the walls and some Persians. The Romans will be able to glitch their way up to get them eventually. It's always a bit annoying, but they find a way. And it looks like actually the catapults over here... Oh, no, wait. They're still alive, but there were Romans heading towards the town. Did the Romans just abandon this project? Okay. Interesting. There's a couple Romans over here just slowly dying. Wow. So right now, there are 92,000 Romans left alive and 48,000 Persians left alive. And the Persians still have these outskirts. So we'll let this ride for a while longer and see what the Romans in the town end up doing. And we'll go from there. But I don't know what's happening right now. Alright, so actually the Romans from the city are now moving out this way, even though they haven't killed everyone on top of the buildings, I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe they did. Oh, no, there's a couple over here. But yeah, it seems like for the most part they have, and now they're moving up to these catapults up this way and joining the fight over here. And they are actually managing to get to the catapults, which is kind of shocking to me, and managing to kill a few of them, which is good. So why don't we do a time-lapse over here of the catapult assault. You know, it's going to be tough. We don't know if they're going to win, but we'll try it out. Alright, the Romans are completely glitching in the city here, so I'm actually going to try to go ahead. Are they Team 1 or Team 2? Try to go ahead and move them all up to the catapults, just so we can get this battle going a little bit. They're just super glitched right now, and they need to start moving, baby. Move it! So, we're going to move them up this way, and just ignore the rest of the people in the city there, or at least hopefully they ignore the rest of the people in the city there. We'll see. Okay, so basically none of the Romans listened to the orders, and they all ended up back here, which is super annoying because I think they're just like hard locking onto these guys. I don't know why. Oh, now they're moving back out this way again, while some of them trickle back in. I'm very confused. I'm gonna let this run for a while longer, but if the Romans keep on spazzing like this, we might just have to call the battle. Towards late battle games like this with like cities and stuff like that, Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 does get a little glitchy, so it can be just a part of the game, which sucks, but it is what it is. Alright, this battle is pretty much over. The Romans keep glitching. Some of them are trickling in, but for the most part they're not. So there are still 61,000 Romans left, but there are, of course, I believe it says 31,000? Yeah, 31,000 Persians left, I think. Now, that discrepancy in dead Romans is probably because a lot of them died from fall damage from the trebuchets instead of direct hits from the trebuchets. So probably like 100,000 of them died from that, and that's why the Romans don't have the exact million deaths that they should, plus the ones that are still alive, of course, too. But that being said, let me know in the comment section below who you think won this. It's a bummer the game glitched, but it happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.